ידיד נפש, אבל רחמן, משוך עבדך אל רצונך, ירוץ עבדך כמו ים, ישתחווה אל מול הדרך, ירב לו ידידותך, מינו וצור בכל טעם. ידה לי ני ני ני, ידה ני 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 ני, ידה ני 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 ני, ay na 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 na, yada nay 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 nay, yada na na nay nay nay, yada nay 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 nay, ay na 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 na, yada nay 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 nay, yada nay 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 nay, yada nay 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 nay, ay na 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 na, yada nay 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 nay, yada nay 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 nay, yada nay 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 nay. Page 130. Lechuna ranana l'Adonai, Nariya letzuri yishenu. Come, let us sing joyously to God. Raise a shout for our rock and deliverer. Page 130.
Lechuna ranana l'Adonai, Nariya letzuri yishenu. Lechuna ranana l'Adonai, Nariya letzuri yishenu. Nekadma panav betoda, bizmirot nariya lo. Nekadma panav betoda, bizmirot nariya lo.
Lechuna ranana l'Adonai, Nariya letzuri yishenu. Lechuna ranana l'Adonai, Nariya letzuri yishenu. Nekadma panav betoda, bizmirot nariya lo. Nekadma panav betoda, bizmirot nariya lo. Ki el gadol Adonai, umelech gadol al kol Elohim. Ki el gadol Adonai, umelech gadol al kol Elohim. Ki el gadol Adonai, umelech gadol al kol Elohim. Ki el gadol Adonai, umelech gadol al kol Elohim. Lechuna ranana l'Adonai, Nariya letzuri yishenu. Lechuna ranana l'Adonai, Nariya letzuri yishenu. Nekadma panav betoda, בזמירות נריע לו. נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו. Page 132. Or zaru ala tzaddik u'le'yishrei lev simcha. Light is sown for the righteous, radiance for the upright. Page 132.
Tzaddik, zaru ala tzaddik.
Or zaru ala tzaddik, zaru ala tzaddik. Or zaru ala tzaddik, zaru ala tzaddik. Or zaru ala tzaddik, zaru ala tzaddik. U'le'yishrei lev simcha. U'le'yishrei lev simcha. Tzaddik, zaru ala tzaddik. Or zaru ala tzaddik, zaru ala tzaddik. Or zaru ala tzaddik, zaru ala tzaddik. Or zaru ala tzaddik, zaru ala tzaddik. U'le'yishrei lev simcha. U'le'yishrei lev simcha. Page 138, we welcome the Sabbath bride with the words of Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת. Kabbalat, lecha dodi, לקראת כלה, בני שבת. נקבלה, שמור וזכור, בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ותפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת. נקבלה, לך דודי, לקראת כלה, בני שבת. נקבלה, לקראת שבת. לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, זאת חסה במחר. שבת תחילה, לכבודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לכבודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורף קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לכבודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לכבודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי, על ידי בן פרצי, ונשמחה ונגילה. לכבודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לכבודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום, עטרת מעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמונה עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, לכבודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לכבודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. יאיר ליראי, 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 יאיר ליראי. לכבודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לכבודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Page 190.
As these candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu nehedlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Amen. Mazel tov.
Please take this occasion to give your Shabbos blessings and greetings to those seated to your left and to your right, in front and behind. We commend Georgia on a beautiful bracha. A very warm welcome to those who are following on our live stream tonight, together with so many here in our beautiful Beit Knesset. Please be seated.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. page 140. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
להגיד בבוקר חסך, ואמונתך בלילות, עליך שוב עלינה, והרי היגיון בחינות.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון.
כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך רנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. איש בעין לא ידע, וכסיר לא יבין את זאת.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. צדיק אתה אמר יפרח, כארץ בלבנון, בלבנון יזכה, שתולים בבית אדוני, בחצרות אלוהי יפריחו, עוד ינובון ושבע, בשנים ורעננים יהיו להגיד ישר אדוני צורי ולא עוולה תבוא.
Page 142, the words of Shalom Aleichem, and Debbie Friedman wrote this melody. And in the final verse she said, not Tzeitchem, go out in peace, but Shuvchem, return in peace. So as we bless this Shabbat, that this Shabbat should be as beautiful, as sacred and as blessed as we have prepared it, so too may all be able to return in peace, in love, and be one family, one community, one people. Page 142.
Shalom Aleichem,
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, Akadosh, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem leshalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu.
Shalom Aleichem,
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech, Malchei Hamlachim, Akadosh, Akadosh Baruch Hu. Malachuni leShalom. מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון, מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
שלום עליכם,
שלום עליכם, מלכי השרת, מלכי עליון, מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא. שובכם לשלום, מלכי השלום, מלכי עליון, מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
שלום עליכם,
שלום עליכם, מלכי השרת, מלכי עליון, מי מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
We rise on page 144 for the Chatzi Kaddish and the call to prayer.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמך רבה.
אמן.
בהמה תפרח רוצה וימריך מלכותה, וחייכון יומכון ובחידכו בית ישראל.
בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב.
ואמרו
אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעלה מולל מעל מיה, יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה
בריחו.
לילה מן כל בחטא ושירתה.
ושבחתה ונחמתה תמירם בעלמה.
ואמרו
אמן.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Won't you please be seated? Just yesterday morning at some time around 8, we witnessed the difference between light and darkness as what appeared to be the apocalypse approached us from that direction. This hour of service also would encourage us to consider the distinction between or and choshech, between light and darkness, between day and night. We read together in Ivrit on page 148. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach she'arim, uvitvuna meshane itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umesader et hakochavim, b'mishmeroteim barakia kirtzono. Borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uven laila. Adonai tzavaot shemo, el chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim.
אהבת עולם בית ישראל ישראל עמך אתה. תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך.
ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה. ואחוותך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום הלבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות ידיך, והיו לתותבות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל, ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו הציצית הכנף בתיר תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים.
אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Many will have observed that this week we welcomed the new month of Nisan on Wednesday and Thursday, indicating to us that we have now less than 2 full weeks before we sit down at our Seder tables and celebrate the liberation of our people so many years earlier from Egyptian slavery. That means that we are in a period of hachana, of preparation. And I encourage everyone to apply themselves to the degree to which they are able or comfortable to ensure so much as possible that this year's Pesach is the most meaningful one that we have had to date. And we pledge ourselves at the synagogue to helping in whatever fashion that you require to make your Pesach more meaningful, whether it be by suggestions of rituals or readings, or if you have questions about kashrut or anything of that fashion. So please now turn to the Mi Chamocha passage, which appears on page 158, which we'll sing tonight to the tune of
Adirhu.
Adirhu.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot oseh velech malchutecha ra'u banecha. אוקיי, הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כבר אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, קהל ישראל.
Page 160.
השכיבנו, אדוני אלוהינו, לשלום ועמידנו, מלכנו לחיים, ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ותקננו בעצה טובה מלפניך, והושיענו למען שמך, והושיענו למען שמך, והגן בעדנו, והסר מעלינו ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ועד עולם.
ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed you, eternal one, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. On page 162, Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat. This is our covenant for all time.
ושמרו בני ישראל, ושמרו את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, אותי לעולם, לעשות את השבת, לעשות את השבת, לעשות Shabbat le'olam. Ki sheshet yamim
asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz.
Ubayom hashvi'i, Shabbat vayinafash.
And on the seventh day, God ceased from work and was refreshed. And so we rise on page 164 for the Amidah, standing prayer. As is our tradition, we chant the first three benedictions as a community. And then we continue in silence, whether using the words of the prayer books or with the words of our hearts. Feel free to be seated when you've concluded your personal prayer or meditation. Page 164.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim ve'Koneh HaKol, ve'Zocher Chesdei Avot ve'Imahot, u'mevii Geula livnei bneihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחייב מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ובטוב מלך, מלך במיתו חיי ומצמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני בחיי המתים. אתה קדוש ושמך הקדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer.
יחיו לרצון אמרי פי
והגיון ליבי
לפניך.
אדוני, אדוני צורי, אדוני
צורי
אדוני צורי
וגואלי
וגואלי
יהיו לרצון
אמרי פי והגיון ליבי
לפניך.
אדוני צורי, אדוני
צורי
אדוני צורי
וגואלי
וגואלי וגואלי.
Good evening, everyone. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. You remember that scene in Keeping the Faith many years ago, and the rabbi steps up in front of the congregation, and he says, Shabbat Shalom, and they give a real shvach, Shabbat Shalom, just as you did a moment ago, and he says, that Shabbat Shalominess is not sufficient. Shabbat Shalom. I think he lost his job after that, didn't he? Okay. I wish I had more time. How often have you said that? Throughout our lives, we are forever racing the clock, trying to squeeze it all in. Yet time is a rigid taskmaster. Time is demanding. Time is unrelenting in its pursuit. And time is precious. Time only moves in one direction. And time is not infinite. From a young age, we think we have all the time in the world. If only we knew then what we know now. When we are in the prime of our working lives, we are told that time is money. When we are older, we wonder, where has all the time gone? And we regret the time that we have wasted along the way. We try to trick the march of time on the treadmill and in the beauty salon. But unless you are Benjamin Button, time will only move in one direction, and time always wins, and there's no going back. You may recall my sharing with you on day 2 of Rosh Hashanah a story about a spool of golden thread. It's one of my favorite stories, and I love to retell it. It describes how a young boy is magically given the opportunity to jump ahead in his life whenever he faces any tsuris, any misery or hardship. All he has to do is to pull on the golden thread. And as he does, he concludes that he's lived a charmed life, an uninjured life. But as he learns later, one that has raced by before he knows it. When at the end of the story, his hair now gray and his back bent, he tries to reversed the course of time only to find that he'd been dreaming all along. He awakes, and our boy is much wiser for it. We can't run away from time. So perhaps rather than trying to do so, we would be better off embracing time, making the most of our time, living life more fully, opening our hearts to others, our hands too to those in need. I am certain that this is what our Torah had in mind. For in Judaism, time is holy. Shabbat is known as Shabbat Kodesh. We mark the passage of time with Kiddush and candles, and we do it each week and at each new season. These new sacred seasons, like the one we'll celebrate only 2 weeks from now, are known as Moadim, sanctified time. Kohelet, Ecclesiastes teaches us, of course, for everything there is a season and a time for every experience under heaven. And creation begins as night is set apart from day, and the Yemei Chol, the weekdays, from Shabbat Kodesh. As it says, Vayihi Erev, Vayivoker, and there was evening, and there was morning. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel referred to Shabbat as a cathedral in time, or a sanctuary in time, a respite from the incessant demands of time, a moment out of time, a period in which the only timepiece is the setting of the sun and the appearance of the stars in the sky. Our Rabbonim, our rabbis, forbid that we should waste time, and they call this bizbuz zman. Rabbi Daniel Travis, in his article entitled Wasting Time, writes that one must be extremely careful not to waste others' time, for it is akin to stealing a precious and irreplaceable commodity. There are occasions when it is theft to waste someone else's time, such as an employee whose time belongs to the boss. If a person makes an appointment with someone else, it is a true sign of concern for them to show up at the scheduled time. The last time that I thought about this subject was back in 1994. By that time, Bill Clinton was in the White House. Bill Clinton was famous for many things, but among that which he was famous for was having people wait for him. And it was thought to be a virtue, for when you were with Bill Clinton, he gave you all the time in the world. But what it meant, in essence, was that everyone else on the schedule was left to wait. Travis tells the story of the Chazon Ish, a mid-20th century Orthodox sage, who once was so concerned about wasting others' time that he disbanded a minyan in the middle, for fear that it would cause one of the members of the minyan to be late for an appointment. The principle to remember, concludes Travis, is that if it would bother you to have to spend your time in such a way, you should not expect others to have to do so. Among the things that you would have learned about Rabbi Gary this last year is that I love Broadway musicals. Isn't that so? Composer Stephen Schwartz, responsible for so many smash musical successes, did early in his career demonstrate a wisdom beyond his years, when writing the lyrics for the musical Pippin, named after our dog by the same name. One character, Bertha, a feisty granny, reminds her grandson, Pippin, to get himself off the schneid and to start living. It is a super entertaining scene, and if you've ever seen Pippin, you'll remember it immediately. For the audience is invited to follow along the bouncing ball on the screen behind the actors and to sing along, just as you will now, this lyric. Oh, it's time to start living. Your turn. 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's time to start living. Time to take a little from the world we're given. Time to take a little from the world we're given. Now it goes up a little high. I'll need help from the tenors and sopranos. Time to take time. Your turn. Time to take time, 'cause spring will turn to fall. 'Cause spring will turn to fall in just no time at all. I'm really relaxing into this job. Many years later, the Broadway stage gave us Rent. How many of you have seen Rent? A tremendous hit written by another Jewish composer by the name of Jonathan Larson. In one scene, the entire company stretches across the front of the stage, and what do they sing? 525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? Okay, we've got some Rents in the audience. Good. Larson's musical reply to the question is that we measure time in daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, and in laughter, as well as strife. But above all else, in love. Thank you. You guys are right on top of it. Is it too much to say that time spent showing and sharing love is never really wasted? If you've been paying close attention, you'll know that what I've chosen to speak about tonight isn't coincidental. It is intentional. For on Sunday, our congregation will embark together with congregations around Melbourne on a program we call a pluralistic Beit HaMidrash under the direction of Rabbi Morgan. And throughout the year, we will focus on the topic of time. We'll use a book crafted by our friends in the UK, by Limud, and we'll examine God's time, my time, our time. It should be very interesting. And I hope many of you will plan to come along this Sunday from 4 to 6, if you have the time. Thank you. In that spirit, I will close my remarks with a selection from the book, which Rabbi Morgan has with him tonight, if you want to have a peek at it. It's a beautiful collection. This is a piece written by Denny Waitley, an American author and motivational speaker. He wrote, "Time is an equal opportunity employer. Each human being has exactly the same number of hours and minutes every day. Rich people can't buy more time. Scientists can't invent more time. And you can't save time to spend it on another day. Even so, time is amazingly fair and forgiving. No matter how much time you've wasted in the past, you still have an entire tomorrow." Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We continue on page 586. Immediately following the service, there'll be a short production of rent for those who would like to remain in the foyer afterwards. Please rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא, הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. We remain standing for a few more moments as we turn to page 598 and we think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. This evening, in the period of Shiva, we think of Donald Black, Bronya Beck, Sima Coral, Eva Koval, and Gloria Goldstone, who will be laid to rest this week. In addition, in the period of Shloshim, we think of Gary Hartman, Brett Osborne, and Editha Wilk. And then we think of the yahrzeits which fall on this Shabbat, or this week. We think of Joseph Penner, Mark Wayne, Bollock Willer, Alfred Rood, Jack Golden, Gitty Hernig, Fritz Fröhlich, Marie Davis, Boris Schwartz, Leanne Levine, Salah Cousins, Maria Schön, Imre Schön, Leslie Isaacs, Diana Lee Marks, Leon Rogers, Betty Lipson, Adrian Schinberg, Frida Rosalie Margiolis, Josephine Moore, Leon Birnbaum, Martin Martin, Abraham Margulius, Hannah Forshaw, and Jaja Spivakovsky, Etta Holstein, Zach Heyman, Edith Jelinek, Heidi Esme Sharp, Malcolm Fredman, Leonard Fox, Irene Hausman, Eva Balint, Leah Helen Eisenberg, and Sol Hendler. If there are other names that you'd like to share, please do so as I look around the room. We also think of all those dying so needlessly in Ukraine. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing as we join together in the words of the Mourner's Kaddish on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabba, ba'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam ulalme almaya, yitparach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yit'ale v'yithalal, shmei dekudesha richu, le'ela min kal birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us, to all of Israel, and to all of humanity. And we say, Amen. Amen. Please be seated as Sandy Benjamin joins us to share a few announcements
from the Board of Governance. Sandy, you'll need to come up here for the microphone to work for you.
Thank you, Michelle. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Everyone here in the sanctuary and those who are watching us online at home. Temple Beth Israel acknowledges that the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples are the first peoples of Australia. The Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation are the traditional owners of the land on which our Temple Beth Israel is located, for which they have never ceded sovereignty. We pay our respects to their elders past and present. Tonight it gives me great pleasure, really, to welcome our newest member to the congregation. We want to welcome you and all your loved ones, and we look forward to sharing your journey through life with you. It's also lovely to be able to say thank you personally to Rabbi Gary. To Rabbi Gary, our cantor Michelle, to Sharon, to Edo. Thank you for making our service so beautiful. Thanks also must go to the community security group and volunteers who are stationed outside, who have checked the premises, and we can pray in peace inside. We are always most appreciative of what they do. Tomorrow, we have a wonderful Shabbat. In the morning, we will be celebrating with Nadia and Charlie Fink, who will be called to the Torah for their Aufruf. And in the afternoon, Ethan Kleinman will be called to the Torah as he becomes a bar mitzvah. Mazal tov to them and all their families. I hope I greeted each of you and was able to give you your own copy of Kol Yisrael as you received your prayer books for this evening. But may I draw your attention to second night Pesach, to the communal Seder that Gary and Jocelyn will be hosting here. They will be exploring the Haggadah in new and different ways. I'm not sure what it means, but it'll be exciting. And the Seder will be filled with songs, stories, history, and prizes. So RSVP for seating and dietary requirements. Just call the office and everything will be done for you. Tonight we'd love you to join us for Kiddush. And could we ask you to take your prayer books back to the foyer as you leave? Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Sandy. And as we are about to make Kiddush, I'm going to invite a few people to perhaps help hand out the wine and the grape juice. The white is grape juice and, thank you, Hermie, and the red is wine. It's our favorite boiled, pasteurized, homogenized, sweetened wine. How they could do to a Frenchman, I have no idea. I'm still trying to figure that one out. However, I will invite you to rise and join with me for Kiddush and Motzi.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava u'v'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'asei v'reishit ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh zecher litziat Mitzrayim כי בנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת לחיים.
However, I'd like to invite forward my dear friends Nate and Sarah, who are visiting with us from Canberra. Sarah was previously president of the Canberra Progressive Congregation. I'd like to ask them if they would lead us in Hamotzi.
Around this side.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Pull. There you
Mazel
go.
tov to Sarah Nate on the recent engagement. Mazel tov. Mazel tov.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.